Hi YouTube, it's Joni, here to give my update finally. I am a little bit late, sorry about that. I have a new webcam, so let me know how it looks. It doesn't seem to be as good a quality as my flip camera, but it's a whole lot more convenient for me, because with the flip camera, I just have to like prop it up on stuff, make sure it's the right level, and yada yada yada. Anyway, with this it's a lot more convenient, so I hope it looks good. My fill, since the last time I updated, I've got a fill. It was actually 2 weeks ago on the 22nd of June. I have the AP large 14cc band, and my doctor fills typically halfway the first fill, so 7 cc's is what I was expecting. And she does it just in a regular office visit, and she has you lay down on a table. I personally cannot lay down on the table because I have a very bad back. So I did try, but it was so uncomfortable. She wants to put a pillow under the small of your back, so you're sort of like, you know, like a little hump, which is even more uncomfortable for someone like me. So I asked her, could I stand up against the wall? And she said, yeah. We put the pillow against the wall, and so I was a little pushed out. She could get to the band, or to the port. It was in a different spot than what I thought it was, but she finally found it. She wasn't poking around my whole stomach, she was feeling around. And then she stuck the needle in, and she was sort of moving it around. That kind of was a little uncomfortable, but not as bad really as I thought. I was just nervous. I'm a big baby with needles. Even though I'm diabetic and I take 2 shots a day of insulin, it's a whole different sort of needle. So anyway, she found it. Once she found it, she, I guess there's like this little thing that sticks out, the needle is sticking out with this little port thing, and since I was a little dizzy, she said, go ahead and sit down. So I sat down. She brought the needle over with the saline, and she stuck in some saline. I assumed it was the whole 7 cc's at first, and then she said, here, drink this, a little Dixie cup full of water, and she said, let me know when you feel like a pressure, and let me know when the pressure goes away. And so I guess she sort of times the time it takes to pass through the band as to how much she's going to put in. So the first time I felt, it wasn't really a bad pressure, just a little pressure, and then I didn't feel it moving, so she took a little bit out, and then I felt it go through, and then she put a little bit in, a little bit out. Anyway, long story short, we settled on 6.6 cc's for my first fill. And that was it. Put a Band-Aid on it, go home, have a nice day. So I then was on liquids for 24 hours, soft foods for 24 hours, and then, you know, on to your regular food as tolerated. I didn't notice any sort of restriction when I was on the soft foods or mushy foods, so I thought maybe when I get to the solid foods then I'll notice it, but I really didn't. So the only way that I know that something different had happened was that I got a couple of bitefuls of food stuck. And so now I know the pain people are talking about with stuck foods, and it's not pleasant. With me, the food eventually passes after like a minute or two. Very long minute or two, but it does eventually pass. A lot of mouth watering and pain. It sort of makes you feel panicky, like you can't breathe, but you can because it's not in your airway. But it's a very, very strong pain, sort of like when you swallow and you gulp a big air bubble and you can feel it go like all the way down, only worse. It feels worse, but sort of like that. And I think maybe with the next fill I get, as the tighter I get, it's not going to go ahead and pass after the couple of minutes. It's going to come up. So I'm going to, from here on out, need to be really careful of chewing my food. And, you know, we should be chewing our food better anyway. But you get busy, and if you don't concentrate on what you're doing, you can swallow. And as soon as you swallow, you kind of know, uh-oh, and then it kind of gradually increases the intensity of the pain until it gets to the point where you're like, this is not cool. And like I said, with me it finally passes, but I can tell that in the future it's as tighter I get, it's not going to pass, and it's going to need to come up, and that's where I guess the term PBing comes from, which I do not want to ever have happen. So I'm going to be very careful to chew my food carefully. And a couple times it happened with bread. Now, I don't eat that much bread to begin with, but the couple times I have, it's happened. So I think that, bread doesn't really change consistency. It kind of like doughs up and just changes shape before you swallow it. So you really got to be mindful of just chewing the hell out of bread. Better yet, not even eating it. We don't really need it. And one time it happened with a little piece of hamburger. I made hamburgers and I didn't put bread on it because I knew, and it happened anyway because I must have swallowed a little chunk too big. So just got to chew. So no restriction really as far as the quantities, and that's what I want to get to, is the point where I can eat a cup or less of food and be satisfied. So I expect maybe with the next fill or two I'll get to that point. The feeling of hunger, though, the feeling of being satisfied after I eat, stays for a long time. And that's kind of cool because even before my fill, I wasn't really hungry. And, it was kind of like a mind trip. You don't really feel like you're losing weight because you're not hungry. Because on diets, in the past, when you're losing weight, you're hungry. So you know you're losing weight because you're feeling hungry. And with the lap band, at least with me, I'm not feeling that hunger like I'm on a diet. So it's really surprising to me when I lose weight. It's really kind of cool, though. I don't have a scale in my house, so I can't really keep track of what I'm losing. So when I go to the doctor's office, it's always a big surprise to me, especially from post-op visit to first fill. I wasn't expecting to lose anything because a lot of people don't, and some people gain, they say. But I actually lost 8 pounds during that time. It was like 12 or 13 pounds during that time, and then 8 pounds from my post-op to my first. I'm confused. Anyway, it's all in my page, the breakdown of the way I lost it. It's a total of 36 pounds now since my pre-op diet, so I'm happy. I can't complain. No one can really notice that I've lost the weight yet, but I can, and that's because I can feel it in my clothes. But someone of my size, you really got to lose probably 50, 60 pounds probably before someone starts to notice, which is okay. I don't care about that. So that is about it. I don't have really anything more to update on. Just plugging away every day. Protein shakes, vitamins, water, chug. I'm having they have a support group at my doctor's office once a month, and that falls on this Wednesday. So I think I'm going to try to see if my doctor will sneak me back and let me weigh in, just because I don't have a scale at home. Since it's been about 2 weeks, it'll be about 2.5 weeks, see if I've lost anything. Just because I'm curious, I don't want to wait till my next fill, which is actually 7 weeks from the first one. So I'm going to try to probably get another fill quicker, too, than that. So, that's about it. I don't want to let this video run too long because I don't know how long it's going to take to upload, and I don't want to bore you all anyway. But thank you so much for subscribing and watching my videos. I really appreciate it, and I do appreciate all the comments I get. I don't get to respond to all of them, but believe me, I read them all, and I do appreciate them, and I love this weight loss community and all the support that it provides. So, you guys have a great day, and I will talk again soon. Bye.